Hello guys, so today we are going to discuss about case control study. So from descriptive epidemiology, we have got a hypothesis: smoking is a cause of lung cancer. We have assumed this hypothesis, right? Now we are going to put this hypothesis into this study to check the validity of this hypothesis. Okay? So let's start. Let's try to see in a nutshell what is case control study. So in a case control study, first of all, we have to select cases. Cases in epidemiology basically means the diseased population. According to this example, the disease is lung cancer. So we'll go to the hospital, we'll select some lung cancer patients. We'll ask them, were you a smoker 15 years back? They will say yes or no. Whatever, we collect the data and make this table, and then we'll calculate odds ratio. That's it, our study is finished. Clear? Now let's just dive deeper into the topic. So first step of case control study is selection of cases and controls. So how we select case? We go to the hospital, we select the lung cancer patients, right? Selection of controls is very important. First of all, why we select control? See, calculating just the values of cases is not sufficient. We also need a comparison group, right? That comparison group is called as control. So how to select this control is very important. Ideally, control should be as similar as possible to the cases. They should be absolutely same, ideally. Just for the fact that controls should be free of the particular disease under study. So here the control should not have lung cancer. They can have any other disease. They can have breast cancer, they can have cervical cancer, they can have anything. But they should not have lung cancer. Clear? So the first step is selection of cases and then selection of controls. Now we'll go through a process called as matching. Before understanding matching, I'll just try to give you an example so that we understand it better. For example, I want to calculate the relationship. I want to see the relationship between steroidal oral contraceptive with the development of breast cancer. Okay? So for this study, in the cases, I have taken younger girls, okay, and for controls, I have taken older women. So obviously, there will be a bias in the study because we know that breast cancer is somewhat dependent on the age. So the younger woman will have lesser chances of developing breast cancer. The older woman will have more chances of developing breast cancer. So this is a kind of bias, and this bias can actually distort our result. So here we see that age is able to distort our result, right? So age is called as confounding factor. Confounding factor. Okay? So matching is a process where we try to eliminate as many confounding factors as possible. Like age can be a confounding factor. In certain cases, socioeconomic status or the geographical location can be a confounding factor, because they also can distort our study results, because they can also create bias. Clear? So matching is basically a process where we try to select the cases and controls as similar as possible and eliminate all the chances of bias or confounding factor. Clear? So this is the second process, matching. The third process that we do is that we'll go to the patients. We have selected cases and control, right? So we'll go to the cases and control and we'll ask them whether were you a smoker 15 years back? They will say yes or no. So the third step is collection of data. Collection of data. We have just collected the data. Clear? Number fourth step. Okay, how we can collect the data? We can just simply interview the patients. We can go there, we can ask them, or if they are living far from us, then we can just have email questionnaires, isn't it? So this is how we can collect the data. Fourth step is analysis of the data. Fourth step is analysis of the data. I don't know whether green is visible from there, but anyways, fourth step is analysis of the data. So how to do analysis of this data? Let's see, okay? So I have taken an arbitrary example where I have given certain numbers in this table. So the number of cases who have said that yes, I was a smoker 15 years back are 33. The number of cases who have said that I was not a smoker is 2. Number of controls who have said I was a smoker are 55. Number of controls who have said I am a non-smoker is 27. So in the analysis part, we have to basically calculate the odds ratio. Odds ratio, also denoted as OR. Okay. How to calculate this odds ratio? Calculation of this odds ratio is very easy. You just have to cross multiply this table. Okay. So here odds ratio will be equal to 33 into 27 divided by 55 into 2, which approximately equals to 8. So we find that in this particular example our odds ratio is 8. So what it signifies? Odds ratio basically signifies the strength of association between the risk factor smoking with the development of disease, that is lung cancer. So if odds ratio is 8, it simply means that smokers have 8 times more chances of developing lung cancer than non-smokers. As simple as that. If odds ratio was 3, then it means smokers have 3 times more chances of developing lung cancer than non-smoker. So what if the odds ratio was less than 1? It means that, for example, the odds ratio is 0.5. It means that smokers have 50% less chances of developing lung cancer than the non-smokers. So I hope you have got some idea about case control study. We'll even discuss further about it when we will just compare case control study with the cohort study. So in the next video, I'll try to cover the cohort study. Hopefully, you'll like them also. Stay connected, stay tuned.